Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy Barlow B Theorizing, and welcome back to the Barlow Zone, home of the one and only demon hunter King Kaido, himself sent to Azeroth. How's everybody doing today? I hope y'all having an amazing day. It's sunny and hot where I'm at, but boy, if it's not beautiful outside, I might go find some yard work to do after I get done recording just to be out there. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the dragon video. I had a lot of fun making it. I was obviously really excited to see our boy return to the panels, right? Like see him back on the page. Man, and I'm excited for 1160. But I did mention I've got some ideas, I've got some thoughts, and I kind of got a theory about the Davy clan I wanted to talk about today. Now, I do want to ask, you guys might notice a little bit of changing in the lighting. This lamp back here used to be part of my lighting setup, but it fizzled out and died. So I'm trying to work around what else I got there. Let me know in the comments if there's any specific lighting you guys are liking, so that way I could try to hold on to that while I'm figuring it out. Anything to make the videos more pleasant for y'all to look at and listen to. So, in chapter 1159, we learned that, and man, I, maybe I just really like that panel. But during Zebek's conversation with Harold, we learned that Rox isn't his actual family name, right? He's claiming to be a descendant of the Davy clan. I I feel no reason to think that he's lying to us. He's been, for a pirate and somebody we've been told we can't trust, somebody who's pure evil. He seems like he's been above the board. He's been rather honest for a pirate. Now, obviously, he did lie to his crew about his intent behind going to God Valley. So perhaps we do need to question: was he lying to his crew, or was he lying to Harold? Like, because Harold wasn't going to let him through to go save Shaky, but hey, maybe I can convince Harold I'm going to save my wife and son. I don't buy it. Zebek has, in this flashback, really seemed like for a pirate, a stand-up dude. I keep saying that because pirates, in honesty, they can only be so good even when they're doing good. Like Luffy's still tearing apart somebody else's dream, right? Now, whether or not that dream should have been pursued, that's for each of us to decide individually. But with the reveal that Zebek is a descendant of the Davy clan, that means Teach as well. And I feel like because of this, I'm not going to refer to them as Rox or Marshall anymore. I'll just go by their given names, Zebek and Teach, just to avoid any confusion, especially until the anime catches up with the manga. There's bound to be some confusion in the community right now. So for us manga readers, let's try to keep in mind our anime brethren who choose to only partake in that version of the media, right? Let's be understanding. Maybe they don't want to be spoiled about Zebek being a member of the Davy clan. But I did find it kind of weird that Zebek was talking about he sent his wife and son to his homeland to be safe, to make sure they weren't targeted, so people wouldn't find out about him. Seeming to indicate that he really believed that his family had the means to protect and look after his wife and son, right? Which kind of makes this sus. Maybe just to me. Obviously, I am a Blackbeard advocate. I've been saying for a long time, I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't think he's the bad guy. I say that about Sakazuki too, so I get why people think I'm crazy when I think and say stuff like that, right? But this panel is really weird to me because they are disheveled. They are in tatters. Like, life does not look like it's been good to these two. So, is this a panel after they've been captured by the Marines and world government, right? Maybe they've been thrown around, shot with the tranquilizer, hit the dirt. I mean, I don't know. This part isn't in my notes, but I did just think about it. It's also possible that Zebek's family wasn't what he thought they were without him on God Valley. Like with the power level that Zebek has, it is akin to Kaido, right? Like we could theorize that there's the power gap between him and everybody else on God Valley, similar to Kaido and the Vodka Kingdom, right? Where Kaido was hands down, far and away, even as a preteen, the strongest being on that island. It very well could have been the same with Zebek. So perhaps he was overestimating his family's abilities because I wanted to. I kind of wanted to theorize that the Davy clan is royalty on God Valley, right? And perhaps they were, because that would add a little bit of weight to what Teach's goal is, right? Like he just wants to be the king of an island. It could spread further. It could just be king of an island for now, because that's a step into, whatever my plan is to become king of the world. Him being Zebek's son, we got to keep that thought in the back of our mind, right? Like it's always possible that Teach has the same goal as Davy D Zebek did, right? Like wanting to take over the world entirely. As much as I've been advocating for him, I really don't think that would have been in the best interest of anybody on the planet. Like maybe a slight step up from what the world government is currently, kind of akin to an Elden Ring taking any of the Golden Order endings. It's going to be the same thing, only maybe slightly less evil. That's why I advocate for the Frenzied Flame being the official canonical good ending of that game. But I ain't gonna get into that. I would also like to talk about the we haven't been given a name, so Mama Shanks, Shamrock Shanks' mom. I don't know, you guys let me know. What have you been calling her? Because I really haven't been able to come up with a name or something to call the mother to really make sure it's identifiable right away. Like when you say Teach, you say Blackbeard, people know who you're talking about. You say Luffy, people know who you're talking about. So I've been struggling on what to call her, but I wanted to bring up again the panel from, what was it? I believe it was 1158, where she was going through taking the babies through town, and it really felt like there was a lot of pomp and circumstance going on in that moment, right? Give me just a minute. I feel something in my throat. Stay hydrated. Drink that water, right? Especially when it's hot. But it really felt like there was a lot of pomp and circumstance surrounding this woman and the babies, that she was kind of not parading them, but kind of parading them through town, right? Like it kind of felt like she knew she was doing a favor to the everyday man, as it were, right? So it, to me, and again, it could have just been how I read and how I saw the panels personally, but it really felt like this woman was royalty on the island. And I feel like that makes sense, especially if she is a Davy clan member herself. Because, I mean, even just aside from the pomp and circumstance of the introduction of her and the baby Figurlin twins, right? We got to consider Garling. Like, what he reported was he stopped in for a moment while he was out on a mission. Kind of, I don't know, to me seeming like he was alluding to just stop to refill supplies type thing. Just a quick in and out is what it was supposed to be. But while they were stopped, he saw a woman, and maybe he considered, hey, it's the end of the day, maybe not the best time to sell. Let's call it for the day, guys. We're gonna hang out in port for the night. and went to, honestly, potentially a bar. Like, that this woman could be the owner of a bar on God Valley, right? Like, with my moms just seem to open bars. I don't get it. Confirmation Shacky is Mihawk's mom? Nah. But, he Garling went out that night and met up with this woman he saw, laid on the Riz hella thick, because we do know he offered uh, for the island to join the world government, right? So, perhaps he didn't want to come across as the mega douche that celestial dragons really are off rip, right? Like, he understands first impressions mean something. So instead of being, oh, hey, I'm taking you with me, you're my wife or slave or whatever, he just laid on that Riz, right? Like, he went out, had himself a good time with a beautiful woman. And in doing so, ended up finding out that her name was Davy D X something. Just whatever her name ends up being, right? Honestly, if it's even important enough for us to know, knowing she's part of the Davy clan honestly might be enough. Shanks isn't the main character. We don't need to know every little detail of his life. We want to. I ain't gonna lie, we want to, but for the story, we don't need to. So it's okay if we never figure out what this woman's name is, if her clan is important. I mean, honestly, even if her clan isn't important, it still isn't going to make too much of a difference what her name is, unless it's, I don't know, Nefertari D. Lily. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to rile people up, get people talking, Do I think Shanks' mom is Lily? No, not a chance. That is not what I'm saying here. So make sure I'm clear about that. But because of the nature of what Garling reported his visit to God Valley was, I don't think it's likely he really had time to do any kind of deep investigation, talk with a whole lot of people, anything like that. I think it's more likely he met with somebody representing the royal family. They kind of got a feel, maybe like God Valley had some glitz and glam behind all that Old West vibe that we've been shown, right? Like, maybe the Old West vibe is just at the crater of the mountain. Like, maybe there's some glitz and glam, Disney, Planet Hollywood type stuff going on. And like, it's obvious that they've got resources, they're well off. So Garling may have decided that was why he wanted to invite them to the world government, and that could have been when he heard the Davy D name. Because I feel like at least we can be assured that the important thing he thought the Great One would want to know is the existence of the Davy D clan on God Valley. I don't know, the easy way is also very satisfying once again, personally. But I feel like just because of the nature of Garling's visit and the pomp and circumstance around this woman when she brought the babies down to the citizens, it's likely that the Davy D clan was royalty on God Valley. Now, that does kind of bring back into question my earlier point about Teach, right? Like, him and his mom did seem disheveled, or like worse for wear, if you will, right? So, like, how do I explain this? And so I have mentioned before I'm Native American, so I'm just going to use references to Native American culture to kind of try to explain this a little bit, right? Oh man, I really wish I remembered what my clan name was. But my clan within the Blackfoot tribe has people who sit on the council, has people in important positions, right? I, to my knowledge, am not directly related to any of them. It's basically a clan makes up multiple families, right? Like, it would be, this group of families would travel together if the tribe as a whole needed to split up and spread out type thing. Like, so that way you always had people there that you could rely on and trust to have your kids back if something bad happens to you. And that very much could have been the case with the Davy D clan, right? Like, because of who Rox was. And I'm going to go ahead and say again, like, potentially even just somebody with a significant power gap over the rest of the clan. Because of who he was, and perhaps they found themselves kind of reliant on his strength in their defense, because they felt confident enough in their ability to defend themselves that they refused the world government invitation, right? They're all, no, you know what, I'm good, I appreciate it. Like, you're solid for offering, but I think we'll pass. But hey, you know, once again, why don't you kick it for the night? You know, take a load off, relax, get back to whatever you're doing in the morning. They had confidence in their own power, right? So it could have even been that once Zebek left, once he's all, nah, you know what? Something needs to change. He went out and made a name for himself. And perhaps it was when he announced he was leaving the island, the Davy clan even renounced him, said, no, you can no longer bear our name. And that could have just been a defense mechanism. Like, they know something about the people who are in charge of the world government. They're all, okay, now these people are after us. We gotta lay low. We got our posh little spot here. But then again, if that was the case, why would they mention their names when a world government agent approaches their island, right? Either way, I don't know, man. Like, we do know that Garling heard the Davy D name at some point during his visit. And considering the circumstance, it really feels like this woman had to be a member of the Davy clan as well, if I'm correct, and she was royalty, like it appeared at the end of chapter 1158. Again, you know, let me know if you think I'm wrong. I just have fun being here presenting my ideas for y'all. Food for thought for somebody, maybe it'll spark a conversation in somebody's little friend group. But it does call into question this panel, because if I'm right, then was Blackbeard, Marshall D. Teach, Davy D. Teach, the certain pirate that Shanks wanted to talk about? Because let's take a look at it for a second. How would Shanks know that he's related to the Davy clan? It's possible, I suppose, that this woman who asked Dragon to save her sons mentioned her name. It's possible. Unlikely. Heat of the battle, you're bleeding out. The only thought on your mind is, God, just let my babies survive. I don't know if it's going to be a pressing matter for you to introduce yourself to this person. You're just going to be like, please go save my babies. Keep them out of that bastard's hands. Sorry, overacting there. But I'm kind of trying to make a point, right? Like, there's no need for her to introduce herself in this moment. She's just making a last-ditch effort. God sent somebody to her door in her final moment. She's all, please save my children, bro. I don't even care who you are. I don't care about that uniform you're wearing. Just save my children. So, I'm not sure if Shanks would know that he is a descendant of the Davy clan, right? Because the world government isn't about to share that information. Like, let's be honest. They're trying to repress all knowledge of this family ever existing. They're not about to tell somebody they're trying to manipulate into being one of their agents that, hey, you're a child of a clan that wants us dead. Like, no, you are a Figureland child. You are a celestial dragon boy. That's all you need to know. Your mom did not want to come here and live with us. Although the offer was never given. Dude had already set his sights on somebody else, and that's kind of savage. But I think that kind of comes down to it, because if Shanks doesn't know that he is a descendant of the Davy clan, and he's trying to work some angle, right? Because I have mentioned before, Shanks is kind of sus, but I trust him at arm's length. I still think that he's a good guy. There are too many story points that could present a situation where he's forced to do something against us. But, he could be trying to work some angle within the world government as a pirate, right? So maybe he's just trying to get in the good graces of the Gorosei. He had a mission. Are there any remnants of the Davy clan left? He goes out. Like, dude is the protector of Elbaf. Like, Elbaf is one of Shanks's islands, right? And who's the only person that Zebek trusted his biggest secret with? It wouldn't have been difficult for Shanks to even accidentally stumble on that information chilling at Ida's bar. Like, just somebody talking about it. Like, oh yeah, talking about Teach, isn't he Zebek's son? I think I remember Harold saying something about Zebek was a member of the Davy clan. Like, that's pretty cool. Maybe Teach is destined for greatness. And Shanks is like, oh hey, ding, he just had that fucking achievement pop. Task completed. Next objective, report back to the Gorosei. So he came back like, hey, I want to talk to you about a certain pirate, because this pirate's been trying to make moves within the world government. Marshall D. Teach, who turns out to be Davy D. Teach. So I do think it's still possible that even though I am theorizing that Shanks also is a descendant of the Davy clan, I think it's possible he doesn't know, and that certain pirate he was talking about was Teach, not Luffy. Because, I mean, dude, Luffy's constantly busting moves, like, always in the news, right? Like, why would they need a mole trying to figure out more about Luffy? They already know about the Monkey D clan. Like, they know that they've got Grandpa Garp's arm twisted to the point he will renounce one of his own family members for doing something against the world government, as I theorized with Dragon. So, as always, as much as I love coming here presenting my ideas and theories to y'all, I'd also love to hear back from you guys. Do you think I might be onto something here? Did this spark an idea in your brain that might become a theory for you? Let me know in the comments, or if a YouTube comment isn't enough, feel free to join me on the Discord community, the Barlow Zone. And as I mentioned last time, that is set up for way more than just One Piece discussions. Even if you're only a casual fan of One Piece, but maybe you really like DC or Marvel, or you really like Fallout or the Kaiju verse, something like that, feel free to stop in, take a look, see if there's a topic that we might have fun discussing. And as always, you can catch me on the socials, Barlow Be Theorizing on X and Tumblr. And I hope y'all have a great day. Much love, friends.